welcome to episode 2 of the Jean the Creative Pixie podcast. Hi, I would like to welcome all my returning viewers and subscribers, and if you're new to the podcast, I'd like to say welcome. I hope you enjoy this little piece of creativity here. Usually this podcast I'll be talking about knitting or crochet or sewing or any other kind of crafty business. You're more than welcome to stay and enjoy the show. So there's a wasp outside. So I'd like to begin this podcast with some finished objects. I actually do have a finished object to share with you. It's actually my pair of socks. My socks with the Afterthought heel. For those who didn't watch the first episode, I was going away on a family holiday and wanted to take some sock knitting with me, but didn't want to take a bulky pattern or any other stuff with me. So I thought this would be a good chance to try an Afterthought heel. So an Afterthought heel is really when you knit a tube sock and then afterwards you come back and cut out some of your knitting and insert a heel. So that's what I did with this pair. The wool or the yarn you can see here is the self-striping yarn from Twisted Lemony in Midnight Rainbow, and for the heel I have used a green elephant yarn in yellow that I've just inserted there. I really enjoy doing the self-striping yarn. I think lots of people say you seem to knit faster as you want to get to the next stripe colour, and that's the way they did seem to work out. I wanted to hurry up and get on to the next colour. So that's those. I used the Louise Tilbrook Designs Afterthought heel design on her website. It was really good and clear. There was a tutorial with photographs and give you all the directions. So I'm quite pleased with that for my first true Afterthought heel. I picked a yellow contrasting heel to mirror the flecks in the speckled yarn, so I think that goes quite well, but I'll talk more about that yellow yarn later. There's lots of pros and cons with using an Afterthought heel. Pros are that you can take your knitting anywhere. You can do your sock if you are on holiday, if you're commuting every day. You don't need any bulk around with you, and then when you get the chance at a later date, you can go home and insert the Afterthought heel. It's a good method if you're using a self-striping yarn, because if you don't want to break up the stripe pattern, you can put a contrasting heel in. You've got more control of it that way, and it's good if you're not sure if you've got enough yarn to do a whole sock in the same yarn, that you can do the contrasting heel, toe and cuff if you wish. But as with anything that has its good sides, it has its downsides, and I find that the major downside with the Afterthought heel is that you have to knit 4 toes. If you don't like knitting toes, this is not the method for you. Now saying that, I have now conquered the Kitchener stitch. You can do toes quite easily and it's neat enough, so it doesn't bother me that much. The only thing that would really bother me is having to sew in all those loose ends of yarn, because I don't like all those lumps and bumps of extra yarn having to be sewn in, and I think that would bother me. But saying that, I think it looks I think it looks quite neat. These are for my daughter. She has claimed these, so she's very fussy when it comes to socks and things like that on her feet, so she would tell me if she didn't like them. So that is my finished object. Now the other work in progress I was talking to you about last week, the Norwegian fur cardigan, I haven't finished that. I haven't done any more work on that because the tension of the cardigan is different from the tension in the socks, and I didn't want the tighter tension of my sock knitting to affect the looser tension of the cardigan, so I put that to the side until I finish the socks. So I hope to be picking that up again soon. Another thing I found when I was hooking through my yarn stash was another work in progress that actually I started 2 years ago. I don't know, you're probably the same. You probably have things stashed away that you just forget about. But anyway, this work in progress is a shawl, and it's called the Sunlight Shawl for Sad People. I don't really know why it's called that. I think I got the pattern on Ravelry for free. It's by Sylvia McFadden, and the photos on the Ravelry page show a lovely yellow scarf, a lovely bright yellow scarf that would make anyone happy. So I'm doing this shawl in Donegal tweed. It's kind of a purple base, but it does have kind of blue, green, pink speckles to it. So it's really nice. Really, it'd be really nice and warm for the winter, I think. And it's got lace work all along the outside edge, and then also it's got like a lace panel down the middle. So that's another work in progress. I hope to finish off at some point. That will happen, I'm sure. So that's all I've really got going at the minute. I've got some purchases to show to you. Last Saturday, the 5th of August, it was the Yarnfolk Festival of Wool in Whitehead, which is a seaside town near where I live. So I bought a ticket online, I pre-ordered a ticket and took the train to Whitehead. So the train, it was eventful enough. I was sitting at the train station at Belfast Central, just knitting my socks, and this man comes up to me on the bench and says, "Are you going to the festival?" To which I said, "Yes, I am. Are you?" And he turned out to be an exhibitor there. He had some lovely natural hand-dyed Irish wool that he was showing. So I got talking to him. He was a really interesting guy, and he was telling me all about the natural processes that he goes through for to get his wool. So that was really good. And then at the other end of the train carriage, there were these two ladies, and they were knitting away, and that was fine. So we got off the train, and the man, he had to run on and set up his stall, and these two ladies who were knitting had to come up to me, and they said, "Could we follow you? We don't know where we're going." And it turns out they were from Norway. They had planned their holiday to Ireland around the Yarnfolk festival dates. It's dedication for you, I must say. So I took them up into the town. The festival was held over 4 different locations, all within, you know, like a couple of minutes walking distance. They were not very far apart at all. So I had a look round and saw lots of stalls and lots of people. There was workshops going on. and there was like loads and loads of people. So I don't know if you're like me, but I would buy a lot of my wool yarn online, and it's all well and good seeing it on the screen there, oh beautiful colours and stuff, but you never get to feel what it's like and hold it. So I have to say I did buy some yarn. Guilty. But hey, yeah, that's what you go to these festivals for, you know, you don't go expecting not to spend any money. So I bought from 2 different sellers. The first seller I bought was from Green Elephant Yarns. Fiona there has been selling her hand-dyed yarns for about 4 years, I think. And we were friends beforehand online, just through our blogs and on Facebook and such. And on Saturday it was the first time I actually met her in person, so that was really nice. So I was pleased to buy some wool from her. I bought from her a bundle of rainbow mini skeins. These actually had a yellow with them. This is the yellow that I used for the Afterthought heel actually. So if you can imagine that yellow there. Ooh, isn't that lovely? So I'm going to use these in future sock projects, I think, for heels or toes, something of contrast. So those are really nice. And then I also got a big skein of Shockwave, it's called. And this is 75/25 merino nylon 4-ply. I just love the colour. The neon pink with the grey is really gorgeous. I don't have a project in mind for this, but I couldn't say no. It's really nice. I kissed it. So that was from Green Elephant Yarns. My second purchase was from the Skein Queen. I've heard some people talking on Instagram about Skein Queen and her lovely skeins of wool. So I went over and oh my goodness, these are something. Oh, you just really want to hold them. I got 4 different skeins. I'm thinking of doing a sophiated sweater or garment. So I got 4 different variations of like a grey lilac-y colour. And this is in the lustrous combination. So it's 50% superwash merino and 50% silk in 4-ply. And it is so soft. This is a really dark grey. And it is, oh, that's going to be so lovely next to my skin. So I don't know whether to do a jumper or a shawl with it. I'll have to wait and see. I've downloaded the pattern from Ravelry for the sew faded, so I think I'll probably give it a go. We'll see. So there's a lighter grey. This one's called Silver. And then an even lighter grey. Almost like a silvery white. And that's gorgeous. And the last one, it's really pale lilac. And this one's got some speckles of grey in it. So this is gorgeous and soft. I'm thinking I might have them in that order, with the lilac at the top going down to the darker grey at the bottom. We shall see. But I got those from the Skein Queen. So there's the wee bag that they came in. So yeah, really pleased with those. Those are gorgeous and soft. On Saturday, it was actually my wedding anniversary as well, my husband Steve. And he asked me what I would like for as a present, a wedding anniversary present. So I said that I would like a book, which was okay because he wanted a book. So the book that I said that I wanted was actually a book that came recommended to me by Amy Florence of Stranded Dye Works. A couple of weeks ago I asked her if she had any recommendations for a book that could take you through different heels and different toes, and she suggested this book called Sock Architecture by Lara Neal. And I have to say, this is a really good book. Having flicked through it, there are a number of different techniques that they show you for different heels, different toes, and then there's patterns throughout the book that give you the various methods in case you work toe up or cuff down. It's all in here. So I'm going to really enjoy going through this book because I think because I beat the Afterthought Heel of Doom, I should be able to tackle some of these more complicated ones. So I'm going to look forward to having read through that. Next week is my birthday, and I have hinted that I would like some yarny goodness or something yarn related. If I don't know, we'll see. So hopefully in a couple of weeks I'll be able to do another podcast and share those things with you. I think that's it for today. I don't think I've got anything else to share with you. If you've got any comments, please comment down in the comment box. If you enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up, and if you want to subscribe, that would be lovely too. So I think that's it for today. The kids are downstairs. I've told them to be quiet, so hopefully you haven't heard anything. If you have, I apologise. But that's it for today. So thank you very much, and I'll see you again soon.